Hey, welcome back to YT Finance, and today we are talking about Palantir Technologies PLTR stock and why we have a new price target upgrade for the PLTR stock, which should really excite investors. After that, we will talk about how Palantir plans to localize their UK data operations as privacy regulations tighten around the globe. And then lastly, we're going to talk about some Palantir stock news regarding their continuation of a contract with the United States military. Then we're going to talk about Nano Dimension's NNDM stock and why it's undervalued according to its RSI indicator. And then lastly, we're going to go over a few AI stocks that are really great long-term holds. Remember to go and press the like button right now for more NNDM and Palantir stock news updates. Comment your thoughts down below about Palantir and Nano Dimension. Turn on all subscription notifications to stay informed, and now let's get right into today's stories. It's shocking to me how Palantir's PLTR stock price continues to drop despite their success in big data and analytics operations, and that they had a great earnings report and they are a pretty strong financial company, which is why I personally still think that this company is undervalued. It doesn't seem right for an innovative company such as Palantir to release a great earnings report with a 36% year-over-year quarterly revenue growth rate and a 103% commercial revenue growth rate for their stock price to continue to fall. It also doesn't seem right how Palantir generated adjusted free cash flows of $119 million, which represents around 30% of their total revenue for that quarter, which came in at around $392 million. But despite this impressive financial data, that has not stopped the stock price from falling. On top of that, we even have more good news because Palantir's management expects their revenue growth rate to increase around 40% year over year for 2021, which would equate to around $1.527 billion worth of revenue for the entire year. Investors should get even more excited when they look at analysts' forecasts for 2022 and 2023 regarding Palantir's revenue, which should come in at $2 billion and $2.58 billion respectively. That means Palantir's revenues are growing by 68.6% just in 2 years. And if we use a 30% free cash flow margin metric, that means Palantir could bring in $774 million worth of free cash flow in 2023. And with this data, we can now estimate a price target for 2023 that is going to be very bullish, so let me explain. If we use a conservative 1% free cash flow yield and we divide it by the free cash flow of 2023, which was $774 million, that would mean that the market cap in 2023 for Palantir Technologies would equate to around $77.4 billion. That means the PLTR stock price will be worth $38.34 by 2023, which would mean that we would receive as investors a 44.9% compounding annual growth rate in the next 2 years, which are fantastic returns. According to analysts, that would mean that in 2022, the PLTR stock price will land somewhere between $24.22 and $26.46. This means that investors should at least expect a 30% upside potential from where the stock currently trades at. In other Palantir stock news, Palantir Technologies plans to move its United Kingdom data processing operations out of the United States, and they are going to localize the handling of the metadata within the United Kingdom itself. Palantir Technologies is doing this for two main reasons, and both of them are very good because one involves them complying with current laws and regulations, and the second one is it enables Palantir to be less susceptible to potential data leaks or even hacks once they localize this data. So this is very good news, and Palantir plans to implement this and have it in full swing by the end of 2022, and this will enable customers in the United Kingdom and throughout the European Union just to be less susceptible to hacks and data leaks, which is going to increase their trust in Palantir Technologies. Palantir has made it very apparent that they love working with the United States and their allies, and that security is their #1 priority. The co-founder of Palantir, named Peter Thiel, who is also an avid investor in Palantir and a billionaire, said that this shift to the United Kingdom will be, and I quote, fully autonomous as regulations change and geopolitical threats around the world increase, end quote. However, with Palantir's plans to localize metadata handling and operations within the countries that it serves, this is going to cost them millions of dollars. However, this will also create hundreds of new jobs in in those particular countries. In other Palantir stock news, the United States Army has extended Palantir's contract another $116 million for another year for their Army Vantage contract that originally was initiated in December of 2019. It's always good to see Palantir get extensions on the contracts that they have already landed with customers, because it means these customers really value and trust Palantir Technologies. The global defense lead at Palantir Technologies had this to say about the partnership and the contract extension, and I quote, "The Army Vantage program is the cornerstone of the Army's ability to make data-driven decisions across the force. This partnership reinforces what industry and government can do at speed to solve hard problems," end quote. For this particular program, Palantir is mainly involved in tracking weapons and monitoring soldiers' behavior, and so the Army can make data-driven decisions. Palantir Technologies also said this in a press release statement about their partnership with the United States Army, and it says this, and I quote, "The Army Vantage platform was established to enable users to make data-driven decisions, allowing the Army to leverage its data as a strategic asset," end quote. To give you a small glimpse of what Palantir has already done on this contract for the United States military is that they have helped generate over 30,000 unique datasets over 160 systems. So this is very important for the United States Army to have this data and use it to their own advantage. Palantir's CEO, who is Alex Karp, has recently doubled down on his statements regarding how other companies should not use their business platforms to help United States adversaries and instead use their operations to solely help the United States and their allies. And he says this, and I quote, "I think the first thing that industry needs to do is affirm that if it's going to work with adversaries, it should always supply at least as good technology to our services and people who are defending our nation," end quote. And to be honest, I completely agree with him, but now I want to talk about Nano Dimension's NNDM stock and why it's very undervalued right now, because recently the NNDM stock price has dropped below an RSI rating, or a relative strength index rating, of 29.6. Now, if you don't know, the RSI is a momentum indicator that indicates if a stock drops below 30, which Nano Dimension has just recently dropped below 30, that means that the stock is now oversold, which means it's a good buying opportunity, which means NNDM is a great buying opportunity at $4 per share. But now I want to talk about some other AI stocks besides Palantir that could be very good long-term investments, and we're going to start with C3.ai. The company's ticker symbol is AI, and it develops AI algorithms that can be integrated into companies' existing software infrastructure. Similar to Palantir Technologies, C3.ai serves large enterprises as well as government customers, and C3.ai helps their customers increase their operating efficiency. It helps them streamline their supply chains, improve employee safety, and detect fraud. This year, the company's revenues are expected to grow by 35%, and next year, the revenues are anticipated to grow by 33% for the entire year. But these projections do not take into consideration a recent contract that was won by C3.ai for the Department of Defense that's worth $500 million. Next up, we have Lemonade, ticker symbol LMND, which simplifies the process of purchasing insurance with a chatbot-powered mobile app, and it offers renter's insurance, homeowner's insurance, term life insurance, pet insurance, and auto insurance. Lemonade's app can generate an insurance policy in 90 seconds, and it can process claims within 3 minutes, which makes them extremely fast and effective. This is why they are very popular with younger people and first-time insurance buyers. Just in the last quarter, Lemonade served 1.36 million customers, and for this year, their revenues anticipate to grow by 33%, and next year, their revenue could jump by 70% according to analysts. Next up, we have SEMrush, or SEMrush, and this is a visibility management tool that allows marketers to gather insights and apply them to their marketing campaigns. This company operates in 17 marketing categories, and they are anticipated to be a leader in 12 out of the 17, and this gives them a huge competitive advantage over their rivals and competitors who only are leaders in 2 categories. This has led to the company obtaining 79,000 customers in 146 different countries, which is always a great sign. The management of this company also anticipates that the company will deliver a 5-year compounding annual growth rate of 50% by the end of this year, which is great news. The company has also generated around $17 million worth of free cash flows, close. The ticker symbol is SEMR. The current stock price is $18 per share. The low-end price target by analysts is $25 per share, and the high-end price prediction is $32 per share, with the market cap being around $2.67 billion, but they have an addressable market of $13 billion, which is anticipated to increase to $20 billion going forward. Now, please keep in mind that these could be great long-term investments. However, I am saying these so you all can put it on your watch lists and do more research for yourself, because we are just skimming the top of these companies just so I can put them on your radar. But what do you all think? Comment your thoughts down below. Remember to like this video if you haven't already, subscribe if you are new, and I will see you in the next YT video.